Yo! What is up, my dudes? I hope you are having an awesome, fantastic day. Why are my eyebrows being silly? There we go. No, hold up. Why my eyebrows? There, okay. I don't know if it's just my computer being laggy or whatnot, but guess what, guys? I'm doing another collab. We're doing a collab with PollywogNTDO. How are you doing, Polly?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How are you doing, Wobble Dude?
I am so excited. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. School technically hasn't started yet, so I'm still filled with joy and whimsy.
Okay, that's good, honestly. Okay.
Yeah.
Good start, good start.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good as well. I am being told right now that I am really loud.
Okay.
So we're gonna adjust some settings. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. This has been like the highlight of my week so far. Actually, I've had a great week, but this has been like the grand finale of like my busy days. So
Okay.
it's a good, like, easy grand finale, and I've been looking forward to it, honestly.
I've been looking forward to it as well. I've had like a relatively easy week. I had a very productive Monday because I was doing lots of like, I guess, behind the scenes stuff with streaming. Like editing TikTok/YouTube shorts and whatnot. So I did quite a bit of that. And then Tuesday was a little bit more lax. Today was my first actual day back in a classroom, and I'm not quite ready for the school year to start. I'm not dealing with any kids yet, but I am dealing with meetings, and I would not wish any meetings on my worst enemy. So that's just kind of where we're at.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at least it's better than it is worse, you know? Like, I feel like it's a nice gradual start to the school year.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be pretty rough, but I have a lot of hope in you, you know?
I am also very much a person who benefits from having structure in my life, and so, like, summer, as fun as it is, it can definitely be a struggle, like, trying to maintain a schedule in my life, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely feel the same about that, especially with stream. Like, I already love stream in so many ways, but I think having the structure that comes along with it is like so useful for just like having a responsibility, something that I look forward to, something that I gotta like kind of structure everything else around. I don't know, it like it's like a backbone to my life in a way, you know?
Absolutely. Enjoy your lurk, Wolf of Silence. But yeah, like, I would say that streaming over the summer is probably one of the best ways for me to maintain structure and a schedule throughout the summer. Otherwise, I'm just like going potato mode the entire time. It's just, it's bad. Yeah.
I know, it could be good. I think going potato mode is good for like a break here and there. Like, everybody needs a break from life, but sometimes too much potato mode, it gets to you. It's worse than like overworking yourself, in my opinion. Somehow, some way, it's just worse.
You got to be able to strike that balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, I figured that we would go over, like, generally how this is going to work and what chat is able to do and, how we're going to pull all this together.
Absolutely. You're the one who created this whole idea. Shout out to you.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the mic to say all you need to say, and I can always add on.
Okay. Well, did you also do the !ask command on your end?
I did, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. So here is how today is going to work. Realistically, Polly and I, we're just going to talk about streaming. We're going to talk about what it is like to be a small streamer, and we are here to basically answer your guys' questions. Whatever questions you end up doing, we are going to throw them in. So here's how you can actually ask a question. If you go into chat and you add !ask, you're going to do the ask command. And what that is going to do is it is going to take your question and it's going to add it into a queue. You can do this in my chat or you can do it in Polly's chat. We've each got setups on our own ends. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all the questions that you guys are asking. And if your question is pulled up in the queue, then we're going to stick it in the list. And then we're just going to tackle these questions one by one. So if you guys have any questions about what it is like to stream, why we got involved in streaming, any questions about the software that we end up using, or how we organize anything on the back end, anything that is related to the content that we make, like, ask away. We are basically going to be an open book today, and I'm looking forward to hearing what our community is curious about. What our communities, I guess, because we do have an overlap in our communities, but we've still got our own unique little corners, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well put, you know?
Yeah.
Also, we're getting lots of compliments on the purple, on the slideshow. I think it did eat. I literally
excellent.
I can second that.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and transition to that on my end.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And it looks like you guys are not going to get any music real quick. I'm going to change that, though. I'm going to change audio input capture. We're going to see what we can do here real quick. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of stream maintenance because I forgot to do this a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to listen to... Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, what if we... Oh, I might need... Oh, whoops. Oh, gosh. Okay. Tell you what, would you like to actually go ahead and advance to the first question, and then you can take it from here while I set up music on my end?
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
The first question, moving on, is what made you want to get into streaming? This is such a broad question, and I feel like there are so many different answers to this. But really, I've always loved social media, which is like such a stupid and cliche thing to say, but like I think it was just so fascinating, like how diverse it was, how much you could put on there, like everything about it blows my mind. So I was really big into YouTube. I really loved making YouTube since I've really had it since day one. And my taste in YouTube videos has like always changed. Like I'm all over the place with the things that I like. However, within the past like 5-10 years maybe, I really got into like gaming content, which is really all things Nintendo. If you guys know me, it's not that I have anything largely against any other gaming company, but like I just have a spot in my heart for Nintendo, so I stay loyal to them.
Absolutely.
Of course, but I really found some YouTubers that I like videos, different types of videos, and I thought to myself, like, these people are just like me. Why shouldn't I do this, And so I started my own YouTube channel. Pretty great. Even though that was relatively recently, that was like 2 or 3 years ago, so not that long ago. It took me a minute to get there, but I did eventually start a YouTube channel. That was super exciting. After like having it for a little while, it got some reach. I got a lot of followers, or subscribers, I should say, pardon me. I was really liking making content, and so I was just trying to broaden my horizons and find what other ways can I do this. And that's when I came across live streaming and kind of figuring out what that was all about. Like, I always knew of its existence, but knowing how it worked and really what you can do on there and just kind of learning the platform itself was really interesting to me. So I was like thinking, well, I got into YouTube, really pursued that passion, that dream, like why not start streaming? And it took a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of energy, money, not actually a whole lot of money. I'm not trying to scare you guys away, okay? Anyone can do it. But it took a lot of time for me to get like the hang of how things worked and get all set up and ready to start streaming. So I think that's really where it started off. I also just loved, there's so many, I'm all over the place and there's so many different reasons, but I also just love Animal Crossing, which back when I kind of started streaming, that's a lie. New Horizons was already out. No, okay, now I'm all over the place. I have to think of my restart.
When did you start streaming? I'm curious about that.
I started streaming in the summer of 2021. Okay. Somehow I know that. It was like June 19th, I believe. Something like that. Or June 18th, pardon me. Something. I don't know.
Wow, you know the exact date.
I know. We've had many anniversaries for it by now, and by that I mean 2, but 2 is better than 1, what can I say? Mm-hmm. But I think going back, again, it's been a minute. So I believe the reason that I really wanted to specifically play Animal Crossing is not only because it's my favorite gaming franchise, but it was also because, again, now that I remembered, New Horizons came out around that time. It was only like a year old, and I saw a bunch of other people making content just like that, such as the wonderful Crystal from Simply Press Start. She was all over New Horizons when it came out, and I was really inspired by her work. She's on both Twitch and YouTube, and so I was inspired by that. Yeah, she's amazing. I love her so much. And so that's kind of what made me want to start getting into it. It was really just a leap of faith from like all different directions of inspiration that just like led me to this point. It's really hard to explain in a way, but I guess that's like the long story short, big picture, I guess, of like how it started, if that makes sense. I don't know. But I would love to hear your response because I don't know if I've heard it before.
Yeah, definitely. And then this might also give you an opportunity to check on any questions that have been submitted on your end.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First of all, Super Nintendo, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you're happy, healthy, and hydrated. I also want to say hi to everybody else in chat as well. Peachy, Twilight Mom, Calcat Comics. Good to have you guys here. I'm glad that you're here. And if you got any questions, feel free to ask away in chat. Just use the !ask command, and then your question will get added to the queue. So what made me want to get into streaming? It's, I mean, you kind of went over like your entire journey, and realistically, like there are lots of little tiny factors that eventually added up over the course of multiple years to get me to actually download OBS and give it a go. I suppose that the very first inkling that made me want to get into streaming, not a Splatoon reference, was back when I finished college. I ended up moving to a completely different area, and I didn't really know too many people in town, and I was also living with a roommate that I did not necessarily have a lot in common with. And so parts were just kind of feeling alienating a little bit. But that's when I discovered Mr. A Game on YouTube. And Mr. A Game is probably one of my favorite content creators. He is so funny. And he finds ways to incorporate memes and little video clips into all the different things that he ends up playing. I discovered him during his original Mario Maker series back on the Wii U. And it was just so much fun to watch. That's what made me get into like Nintendo gaming. After, I grew up with a Wii, didn't really play a lot of Wii in like college and whatnot. But after college, I was like, oh my gosh, no, this is a lot of fun. So then, partly because of A Game, I ended up getting a Switch and I started playing Nintendo games, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So the more A Game content that I would watch, the more entertained, I guess, I would be watching somebody play Nintendo games and having a fun time with it. But even then, I felt like I didn't really want to get involved into YouTubing or streaming until Twilight, actually. For those who don't know, Twilight is my brother, and he started getting involved in streaming. He ended up getting a capture card, starting to stream like Nintendo content, and he had a lot of fun doing that. And I saw how much fun he was having, and I was like, man, I really want to give that a go. But so when I started seeing what he could do, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And in August, it was either late August or early July. I don't know the exact date because I didn't like save it in my calendar or anything. But
that's okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to get a microphone. I'm going to set it up. And I streamed Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. And because he's an amazing bro, Twilight decided to post in his Discord saying, hey, my brother is like trying streaming for the first time. Make sure to stop by and say hi and drop a follow. And so my first stream, even though it was a terrible quality stream, because I did not know exactly what I was doing, it was still really successful because I was able to hit the ground running because of his support. And then as I did more and more streaming, I practiced and I got better at it. And then I started looking at other family-friendly Nintendo content creators. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could do a little bit of networking. I could like learn a thing or two from them. And so as I've gotten better over the years, I think that a large part of that is taking inspiration from other content creators and also collabing with other content creators. Now, to this day, the only people that I've collabed with have been you and Twinite. I plan on changing that in the future. But I have learned also a lot from you, and I've learned a lot from him, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, yeah.
Wow. That was kind of inspirational, I'm not gonna lie. No, that was not kind of, like that was very good. Shout out to you. Also, thank you so much. Wow. But okay, no, I don't believe I've heard that story before. Also, loving the sibling dynamic between you and Twy. Sometimes it just takes like that leap of faith. Oh.
Wrong. No, you're good. You're good. I was making a silly mistake on my end.
Oh no, you're good. But no,
yeah.
I mean, I think you're the definition of like somebody who just people in general, like needing to take a leap of faith with something you're passionate about. Like, it's never gonna be perfect. I can almost guarantee you, like anything you do will never be perfect, like first try. You just gotta do it, you know?
Oh yeah. Like if you waited until you were ready to do things, then you would never do them.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to wait for, really.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like your microphone to come in from like Amazon or something, but that's a different kind of wait, okay? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of related to a question that we have later on. How do you feel about moving to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this one is, what is your favorite moment in your streaming career so far?
Oh my goodness. There's so many. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Every single time that I come on here and go live, I just have a blast. Like, it feels like every other worry in the world that I have, like, just goes away. I always have a blast, but I would like, for some reason, when I first saw this question, this is so stupid, but one popped into my head right away. And I hate to have this one resurface, but I also have to be so real with you guys. It was the wee moment when I said that I have like an actual wee. That one, it does keep me up at night. It does keep me up at night, I'm not gonna lie. Did I add it in a stream moments video? Yes. Was I supposed to? Absolutely. I think we need to remember that one and let it live forever. But I mean, I can't choose just one. That one, it did just pop in my head. But I mean, anytime that you guys are here, you make me smile. Even if you're not because of life, don't even worry, I promise. That sounds horrible. Like, if you're not here, like you're banned. No, but I just love seeing all you guys all the time. You're so fun, so funky fresh. Especially you, Wobble Dude, because Funky Kong, you know?
Yeah.
Funky fresh. But yeah, I don't have one other than the wee moment. It haunts me. Anyway, what's up with you?
That's a good one. I think that my favorite moment in my streaming career so far has been my charity stream.
Yes, I loved that for sure.
It was so much fun, and like I've had a lot of great moments throughout my streaming career, but I think that is probably my favorite because it was still like, I don't want to say relatively early on, because it was like a year and a half into my streaming journey, and now I'm like just past 2 years, but it also feels like so much has changed since the charity stream. That still feels like early channel for me, and the fact that my community was able to come together and like pool so much money for a charity that I genuinely care about, that is something that's really special to me, and I will want to continue doing charity streams in the future because it makes me feel good. I know that that's like a really selfish thing to get involved in, like donating money to charity and whatnot, but like it makes me feel good. But I also know that I'm making a difference. And, you know, charity streams are cool because you can like put your work out there. People can pool their resources and money together, and you can also raise way more money together than you would individually. And like, I have never made a donation that big to Partners in Health before, but I was able to do that through the charity stream. And the fact that the community smashed all expectations that I had for the amount of money raised is just like actually inspiring. So that's definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah, rightfully so. I absolutely love that stream. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think that was so amazing. You had so much channel growth. Also, I have to clarify, girl, it is not selfish to feel good after donating to charity. What does that even mean? Put that away.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, absolutely not. But no, I mean, I think that was one of like the most amazing streams that you've ever had. And it's hard to choose between them, but that one does stand out for sure.
It's definitely a highlight, yeah.
For
Peachy
sure.
says stovetop gas can. Stovetop gas can is definitely a favorite moment, yeah.
That one, yeah, that was a great moment. That was a great moment. I
And-
feel like you're the kind of person too. You have a very natural sense of humor to you, like with the things that you say, where you say something that's so basic, but it's just so funny because it's you saying it, you know, which is a huge compliment, by the way. I take that as a great thing. But
Thank you.
sometimes like the little things that you say are just the funniest. Like Star and I all the time, we will quote, you were doing, I don't remember
Oh no.
if this was for your birthday. I think it was for your birthday though. It was a stream you were playing Mario Kart for. And I thought it was a birthday stream. Could be wrong, but it was something like that. I only saw the VOD. I wasn't able to show up live. But you were playing Mario Kart. I know Twy and Alyssa were playing, and Star was playing as well, or at least watching. And again, I'm kind of like all over the place with how this laid out. But you were about to throw some kind of a shell at Alyssa, and all you said, Alyssa, you won't know when, but you'll know how. And we quote that all the time. I don't know why, but it's so funny to me. Like, what? I don't know. But now when we play Mario Kart, we'll just say, you know, Star, insert in Star's real name. You won't know when, but you'll know how.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
For sure.
One other favorite moment was like at the very end of the subathon where I tried to explode like I think it was right around between 800 and 1,000 cans of propane.
Okay, so
Yeah. In Cooking
that's
Simulator.
an original experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is original experience either way.
Oh yeah.
But for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question?
Next question, let's do it.
Okay. What advice would you give a new streamer?
Go for it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right. There's so many things that I would say. The first piece of advice that I would give to a new streamer is to just do it. To just try. And recognize that your first stream is going to be bad. There's going to be glitches. Your audio is not going to be balanced. Your gameplay capture might not even work properly, and that is fine. A lot of the learning process comes from just doing it and recognizing that you are going to be making mistakes early on. Just roll with the punches and keep at it. If this is something that you really want to do, just go for it. Those are absolute facts. You get what I'm saying, Super Nintendo. Exactly. The other advice that I would want to give, so like if all that you want to do is get involved in streaming, just do it and learn by doing and recognize that, you know, again, you're not going to be good at this at the start, but the more that you play, the more that you interact with chat, the more that you try out new things, even if you're not 100% comfortable with it, just do it anyways. And, eventually you will get better at it. The other piece of advice is if you don't just care about streaming, but you also want to like grow on Twitch, I mean, like, I know that I'm probably not the best source of information for this because I only stream twice a week. That's all that I can afford to give. But there was a clip from a podcast that Ludwig was in, and it's always stuck with me because he was asked, like, how do you grow on Twitch? And his response was, you don't grow on Twitch. You grow on other social media platforms, and then you encourage those followers to migrate over to Twitch. This is something that it took me a long time to internalize and actually be comfortable with, because I started off with thinking, oh, I'm just going to like stream on Twitch. I don't really care that much about like earning new followers and whatnot. And truth be told, I don't really care that much about earning new followers. But if you end up taking Twitch clips and then editing them down into formats that can be posted to Instagram as Instagram Reels or as TikToks, YouTube Shorts, like genuinely that will do so much for growing your channel. And I mean, realistically, there are probably people either in chat right now or were in chat last stream that discovered Wobble Dude through YouTube Shorts or TikTok. And so Like, don't underestimate other social media platforms. It is going to take more work because you're going to have to put in the time to actually editing those video clips. You're going to have to take time to learn basic editing software. But if you're willing to commit to it, that is a great thing for promoting your content and getting more eyes on your content. One of the best examples of this, and then I promise I'll let you answer as well. There was a content creator I came across the other day. It was literally about a week ago. Cozy Hobbit Jen. She is very new to Twitch, has only been streaming for about a month or so, and already has Twitch affiliate. Now, for those who don't know, like, Twitch affiliate, you need to have at least 50 followers. You need to stream, like, a set number of hours per week or per month. And you also need to have an average view count of at least 3 viewers. So the fact that she was able to get to that point within a month is crazy. And the reason why she was able to do it is she posted her content on TikTok. And she was like, hey, if you like what you see here, I'm on Twitch. Give me a follow. Help me reach affiliate. And then she did. So, like, definitely use other platforms and their strengths to promote your content and bring those viewers over to Twitch, because Twitch is not going to actually help you grow. Twitch is very bad.
Yeah, I can confirm for sure. Yeah, everything that you said is like the most perfect way I could have worded it. Like, you're outdoing the doer. I don't know. Also, real quick, couple things I want to catch up with in chat. First off, no question of the day, guys. These are your questions that we're answering. And then also, yeah, sorry, on my end, the Google slide keeps just turning like light purple and then the words will come back. It's just because I have so many tabs open right now, and anytime I try to switch between them or fix them, it'll just kind of like fade out and then come back in. So just ignore that. It's just a little error. I want to say that. But yeah, I mean, going back to this question, I can completely 100% a million times agree with you, because yeah, I think Twitch, is it possible to grow off just by itself? Yes. Is it likely? No. I think you need to start with a different platform. I think, especially with nowadays, Reels, Shorts, TikTok's great because they're very popular. Many people are going to see it. It'll get way more reach than like a YouTube video would. Like, if I'm in the boat of like, although I feel like Reels, Shorts, and TikToks are more convenient, I just prefer making YouTube videos. That's what I like to do. I enjoy it. And even if they don't get as much, as many views or anything, like, it's still up for preference. Like, just something is better than nothing, basically. For sure. And then, yeah, I feel like you said it all. I don't know. Other than what I said before of just jumping into it, like you said too, you're never gonna be 100% done with like tweaking streams. Like, I still do. I still have times when you guys are saying it's too loud, it's too quiet, gameplay's acting up, we have disconnectivity issues, there's lost VODs, like, it's crazy. You're never gonna be perfect, so there's nothing to wait for. Like, it's not like you're waiting to be perfect, because it will never happen. You just have to jump into it, and I think that's the most real thing I can tell you.
Yeah, even several years in, people are still going to be making mistakes and whatnot, and you guys know it is not a Wobble Dude stream without a little bit of technical difficulties and some scuff, all right? You guys know what to expect, but like, the whole reason why people gravitate towards these live streaming platforms is not just because of the games that are being played. It's because like, they get to watch these games being played, or they get to watch these activities being done by people in a live environment, and they know that these mistakes are going to happen. Like, that, if anything, brings more character to the channel, you know? It makes things like come off as more human. Yeah, and Super Nintendo says, and you'll meet people with experience who would be happy to help you with troubleshooting. Absolutely. Yeah, no, there are so many people on Twitch that are like super friendly and open, and there's also lots of like YouTube tutorials for setting things up and whatnot. I ran into several YouTube tutorials just trying to figure out how we would end up doing this particular format with the ask command and everything. So yeah, like, there's all sorts of amazing resources out there to improve on your end for streaming. Recognize that you're not going to start off super great, but if you keep practicing, you will get better. One way to think about it, and then we can move on. because like I could go on and on about how learning works. And
No
whatnot.
worries, we got time.
Imagine that your brain is a forest, okay? And there's branches and there's bushes and there's trees everywhere, all right? And you want to march towards the point where you're going to be successful on streaming, or maybe you're successful in content creating, or maybe you want to be a successful musician, all right? But that skill right there is in a completely different area of the forest. It uses a completely different aspect of your brain that you're not used to. And so what you're going to have to do in order to get better at those skills is you're going to have to blaze a trail. And you're going to have to trample through the bushes, and you're going to have to walk back and forth to that location where success as a content creator, or success as a musician, or success as a Twitch streamer is. And you're going to have to keep walking that trail. But the more that you end up walking that trail, the more that you trample through the bushes and through the weeds, the more that trail is going to be more easily defined compared with all the trees and all the other nonsense around. And the more that you walk that trail, the easier it is going to be to hike. And so the more that you practice, the easier that things are going to be.
Yeah, no, that's like, I was a little questionable about where that was going at first, but no, I think that's a good analogy to use for sure.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Next question. Oh boy.
This is a good one. I like this one a lot. It's how do you deal with burnout as creators? For me, whoa.
I just
Okay,
moved it
we're
up a
good.
bit. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't know what was going on. I just say rest is a really good one. I think it's very easy to overdo it when content creating, like whether that's streaming on Twitch, making YouTube videos, like they both take a lot of time, whether that's streaming for a lot of hours or whether that's working on a video in your free time. Like, you know, you edit a lot of things very well. So I can only imagine how much like work and energy and time goes into them. And I feel like sometimes you always do what's right for the people and what they want because they're expecting content. But I think you also, and especially, need to take into consideration your health and the way you're feeling. And are you up for this? If you're going to follow through with putting this video out for the week or streaming today, like, are you going to feel satisfied after, or are you just going to be tired and just think, well, that's out of the way? Like, that's a horrible way to look at it. And if you're thinking like that, that's how you know it's time just to cancel a stream. Take a week off. Take a month off. Like, it doesn't matter. And maybe, yeah, people are going to be upset. They're going to be frustrated. Maybe they'll leave. It won't be as busy when you return from your break. But, like, you'll feel better. And that's all that matters. It's such a wide thing. And I think especially the way that a lot of algorithms work, yeah, if you're inactive on social media platforms, it won't get out to as many people when you're back and when you're ready to start rolling. Maybe they won't be, you know? It's just a really weird situation, something you can't really figure out. You just have to do. But don't be afraid of the algorithm. Have the algorithm fear you. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Ooh,
but take a break.
Oh, that's bold. I like that.
I kind of ate with that one. Like, oh, man. But yeah, I think, like, just take a break. Rest. Fear nothing.
Wow.
How about you? Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have a very different response to this. Like, I mean, yes, rest is very important. Making sure that you're taking care of your vitals, like hydration checks, very important. You know, eat your vegetables and whatnot. Like, the more that you take care of your physical health, the better your mental health is going to be. Not too many people are like. Lots of people talk about, oh yes, mental health, very important. Mental health, always focus on your mental health. And that is true. But if all you're focusing on is your mental health and you're not like eating a balanced diet and getting exercise, then your brain is not going to be operating at its best capacity. So like make sure that the bottom levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs are definitely taken care of. For all you psychology nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about.
That's me right there, you know?
Yeah. As far as like content creation goes, I think that like one thing that is emphasized by a lot of people who are in this space is that you need to have consistency. That is one of the best ways that you end up getting a reliable audience who wants to tune in every now and then. Yes, Star, absolutely. But what you need to figure out is how you're going to have consistency in a work-life balance. So if you want to stream and also post things to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, then you need to find a system that allows you to stream at the same times every week, and you need to find an upload schedule that works for you. Lots of people in this space will tell you that if you want to grow on things like Instagram and TikTok, that you need to be posting 3 times a day. I cannot post 3 TikToks a day. I do not have the time. I have a full-time job. I literally do not have the time. I can post 3 times a week, not 3 times a day. And that is the balance that works for me. But even then, as you said, you need to find ways to, like, if you need to radically relax. If you need to completely unplug, then you need to completely unplug. One thing that actually did help this summer, because this summer I still ended up posting a bunch of content to like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, even though I wasn't streaming. And the way that I did that is I got ahead of the curve. I edited more than I needed to for every given week for like a month and a half. And then I just set those to basically automatically post at set times when I normally would post. And that allowed me to like distance myself from stream, but still put enough content out there that people would be able to stay on top of, like Reels and TikToks and whatnot. But I think that if you're able to have a schedule where you're able to do things consistently while still setting time aside, like in your calendar to, like, this is going to be my relaxing time. And even if you need to actually create a dedicated event that is literally just titled Relax, sometimes you need to do that. And then if other people say, hey, do you want to hang out, or do you want to play games, or do you want to go to this place downtown? You say, no, you know what? I do need to have this time to just decompress. As long as you are taking care of yourself, that's the big thing. The algorithm is going to want to push you to the limit. Don't let it. You are... As you said, don't fear the algorithm, let the algorithm fear you.
Oh, yeah.
You want to make sure that... oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. You want to make sure that... Like, the algorithm is a machine. The algorithm is not a person, and the algorithm does not care about you. So make sure that you are the person who cares about you. You are the person that makes sure that you are hydrated, that you are well-fed, that you have your stimulus activities and whatnot. So
that was kind of good.
Make sure that you prioritize yourself, because these platforms and these algorithms are not going to do that for you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. You're just on top of it today. Honestly, yes, absolutely.
It takes me a while to get to the point, but once I get to the point, I'm like, yeah, we'll stick that way.
No, you got me the whole time, for sure. No, I will say that's something that I've definitely thought about before. It's like I knew it, but I didn't realize it kind of moment, you know? Where, you know, I feel like the streaming experience and content creating experience should really be personalized to you. Not what the algorithm wants. At least as close as you can get to what the people want, but really ultimately what works for you is best. It'll help you in the end. You will feel better. You will exist in peace and harmony. And I think that's a great way to put it, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, always be true to yourself in the content that you end up making. Like, don't try to make content to, like, min-max the algorithm or to, like, maximize your growth potential. Like, do what you are going to enjoy, and eventually an audience is going to find you.
Ooh, yeah, you know, do what you will enjoy and people will follow, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next question.
How do you guys make such good overlays?
I have a great mod. That's how. I mean, I used to make my own overlays, and I thought they were very fun to make, but the ones that Star makes are just so much more aesthetically pleasing. How can I say no? But We both use Star and I should say, use Ibis Paint on iPads to design digitally design overlays. That's how I make mine. I don't know. You can also find them for sure very similarly, obviously not as great as Stars. But you can find good overlays on Etsy as well for pretty cheap prices if you aren't an artist yourself, which is okay. I'm not either. And when you really look at overlays, they're just simple shapes. So if you want to make one by yourself to be like cheaper, which is completely fine, you can. But if you want to spend a couple dollars to get a cute one on Etsy, that's also a possibility to make overlays. But that's my input. What about you? I actually don't know what you do for your overlays and such.
Yeah, so I would say that the way that I make overlays is it's not archaic compared with other programs that are out there, but I have found a system. I discovered a system when I was like a senior in high school, and it has been so long since then, but dang it, I know how to use it, and I know how to use it relatively well. So it's a website called Pixlr, Pixlr, and it is basically poor man's Photoshop.
Okay.
It does not do all the amazing things that Photoshop does, especially with like treating different layers almost as like a mesh that you could like mold and change the shape of. It is not nearly as advanced as Photoshop. Imagine how Photoshop was like maybe 7 years ago, and that's kind of what Pixlr is.
Yeah.
It is, again, it's not the most efficient, but it is what I end up using. And you just tinker around with some of the tools there. There's plenty of YouTube tutorials that are available. I will also say this. I have not used the program, but I have heard amazing things from other people who have used the program, and that is Canva. Canva has all sorts of different templates that are already designed for streamers. So going back to what we were saying earlier, if you want to get involved in streaming, just do it. There are lots of free resources available on Canva. There's lots of free resources available through like obviously make sure that you're going to a safe website and whatnot. But Canva is great because you can start with a template and then you can find a style that really works for you. I guess that's another thing that you should consider when you're making an overlay and when you're making a frame is figure out a color palette that you want to work with. For me, that is very much purple. Maybe some light blues for text and whatnot. Obviously for you, I know that you recently changed your overlay. You've got green and you've got the pink for the cherry blossoms and the Sakura style. Like find a theme that kind of fits like your general aesthetic and what you want the aesthetic of the channel to be, and just experiment. You could also like get an artist to hire and to get commission work from, but I just do a lot of the stuff on my own, and like there's more than one way to do this.
Yeah, for sure. There's always options. There's always more than one way, never one answer. Like, I have not come up with one single answer for any question I have for streaming. Like, there's so many different outlets and ways you can accomplish things. So if you reach your dead end, turn around and go back and find a different way, you know? But I also think, too, Canva, you are 110% right. Canva is amazing. Star, I have to correct you. I'm actually Canva's #1 lover. Put that away. Canva's great. I actually used Canva for my first ever overlay. Really horrible, by the way. That was when I was, like, first using the program I use now. But I did use Canva for my chat box. The chat box specifically on my first overlay was Canva. So you can make crazy things. It's all up to how creative you want to be. And like you said, they do have a lot of fun templates that you can just customize with your aesthetic. And I also like what you said as well. I'm going to add on with the color scheme. I think having a color scheme, like no more than like 5 colors. I think anything more than 5 gets a little confusing, and then people can't really keep track of it. But anything from like 2 to 5 colors for some kind of a color palette or scheme for your content is going to be great, because the more your name gets out there, the more people will associate those colors with you as kind of a brand. Like when you think of hot pink and blue, you think of like Mr. Beast, you know? When you think of, I mean, purple, anytime I think of purple now, I do think of you. And that's only just because, you know, what can I say? You've already accomplished that. But, you know, for an example, like Mr. Beast, there's just certain brands where when you see those color combinations, they think of you. And that's why it's a great thing to get that started as early as you can and as consistent as you can, you know? Like, you can always change it up. I've changed up things so many times, and spoiler alert, although I've already said this, I'm more than likely going to change my aesthetic and theme again, which is fine. I just think as long as you know what you're doing and know how you want to do it and how to get the message out there, like, go for it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Next question. We've got this one. Lots of things can be learned with YouTube tutorial videos, but what about streaming would you think isn't easily learned that way? That is such a tricky question.
I know. Man, I need to think about this one. Do you have any kind of an answer ready to go?
I think that I've got one, and it is interacting with chat. That is one thing that, as a streamer specifically, that is a skill that you need to practice. And again, you're not going to be really great at it at the start, but the more that you practice, the better you're going to get. So, like, you will find YouTube tutorials on editing videos. You will find YouTube tutorials on setting up OBS. You're not going to find many YouTube tutorials on, like, interacting with chat. And so, the more that you practice, like, if somebody ends up tuning into chat and they ask a question when you're in the middle of playing a game, if it takes you longer than, like, 10 to 15 seconds for you to even see the message, then like, if you're a new viewer that's just tuning in and you ask a question and they don't even see and you don't even see their message, then they might not want to stick around. And so coming up with a system where you're able to play the game while still able to stay on top of chat, I think is it is a skill that, again, takes a lot of practice. There are some programs that you can use if you're streaming a PC game where it will show you the chat logs, like, right on the screen on the gameplay. If you're playing a game on Switch or PlayStation or Xbox, then it's going to be tough. As Kat is saying, like, it is difficult to check, and I'm still not fantastic at it. Even when I am doing more chill streams, like in Tears of the Kingdom, and, like, chat is way more active, I don't read every message. It's difficult for me to, like, have all of that cognitive load, but it's just a thing that you're just gonna have to practice. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, no, I think that's actually a really good answer, because I think for a lot of tutorial videos that are out there, they really only go over technical things, like how to work things, how to use certain aspects, but they never go over how to socialize, how to carry a conversation when there's nobody watching. That's a really hard one, I think, too. That might be my answer. Like, I definitely have hard times connecting with chat. I'm not gonna lie. Like, some days it's so easy. Like, we're having a great conversation. We were having, like, a heated debate a couple streams ago about, like, what colors we associate with certain school subjects. That one got crazy, and, like, those are so fun.
Oh, yeah.
But there are times... Yeah, for sure. There are times, though, when people will say things where I don't know how to respond, where I misread messages, I miss messages, people get frustrated, and I'm, like, trying to, like, play a game and talk. Like, it gets frustrating. And I've said crazy things on the stream that I probably should not say or repeat. Because it happens. You're live, there's pressure, people are watching, there's so much to catch up with, focus on, multitask for. But then, like, although the chaotic energy that happens from stream is difficult enough, I also want to go back to the kind of energy in stream that's dead, which happens, especially when you're first starting out live. You're not going to have a lot of people, and that's okay. You'll get to a point where you will get a lot of people watching, but when you are in an empty stream, just you, I would say talk. And it's definitely way easier to some people than it is others. Also way easier said than done, but talk to yourself. I tell you guys about crazy things, probably get myself in trouble for saying things when I'm just talking to myself, and I've gotten really good at it. But, like, maybe when somebody comes in and they just see you're kind of talking about something, they might be interested, whether you're talking to nobody, like, maybe they'll join in, you know, or nobody, if they come into stream, maybe don't announce that they're in stream or say hi, you won't know that they're in stream. But they come in and it's just silent because you don't know what to say, they're gonna leave, you know? You have to be able to do something, especially talk, to get people's attention, so when they do pop in, they stay, you know? And it still applies. Like, I'm pretty far into my streaming career, definitely not, like, top 10 or anything, but, like, I have a lot of people a lot of the time, which is great. I love you guys so much. You're amazing. But there are streams when inevitably people are busy. You have lives. I don't blame you at all. I'm not ratting you out. But like there are days that stream is slower than it usually might be. And it gets difficult. And, you know, after like a long day when I come to stream and I'm really excited and then not many people are there, or even like the mods are kind of lurking because they have some work to get done, like it can be difficult. And so I think it's a skill that whether you have 10,000 followers or one, you need to have. And it's really important. And that's something that you need to kind of teach yourself and learn and grow with, because you won't be able to find like YouTube tutorial videos on it, you know? I think that's kind of my answer.
You want to know the funniest thing about the advice that you just gave about how like even when stream is dead, you got to make sure that you're still talking? That is advice that I remember you gave in a YouTube video in which you give streaming advice. And I remember watching that, like, I don't even remember how long it was ago, but I took that advice to heart, and I still think about it whenever I'm streaming. I'm just like, oh, there's dead airspace, let's fill it in with something. And I think
really,
yeah, no, seriously. Couple things though. So when you run into those times where you have like dead airspace and you need to fill it in with something, you gotta have like a list of go-to topics that you could talk endlessly about. And this is a piece of advice that I'm kind of co-opting from Catliente. She phenomenal content creator. Like if you want to get involved in streaming, she's probably one of the best sources to like at least learn how to like start promoting your content and whatnot. But she came up with the idea of like writing down a list of topics that you could talk endlessly about, stick it on a sticky note, and literally post it to your like monitor. And so there are certain topics that I could probably talk endlessly about. One of those things, coincidentally, is like nerding out about streaming stuff. But if you want to like bring up conversations about Nintendo history, like I'm your guy. I love chatting about that sort of thing. So, or different types of food. Do you know how many times I have gone down rabbit holes in my channel just talking about food and how delicious it is? French cheeses. Yeah, I could talk a lot about French cheeses. Yeah. Like there's so many different topics that I could just talk endlessly about. And if you don't have a lot of activity in chat, just always revert back to those topics. Calcat Comics ended up mentioning a little bit earlier about like having a balance of trying to figure out what you will and won't let slide with chat, like what sort of messages you're going to engage with and which ones you won't. I think that another skill that there's not really a lot of YouTube tutorials on it, but you're just going to have to figure out what it means for your channel is what moderation looks like in your chat. I know that especially for us, we are family-friendly content creators. I've got pretty strict restrictions on what people can say in chat. And, I mean, that's part of the reason why is I want to keep things rated PG, you know? If you want to be a content creator that is, like, more PG-13 or, like, full-on 18+, you got to figure out, like, what sort of chat engagements are going to look like on your channel and how you're able to moderate that so that you don't get too many weirdos.
Yeah, I think, again, going back to a couple questions ago, like, a lot of streaming is personal preference with how you want it to run, how you want it to look, when you want to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. I think that's a big thing. And, like, people online also can't tell you how to do it. It's all up to you. And whatever you choose to do is completely fine. But I also think it's really important that you're, especially if you're kind of like us and have a bit more stricter rules than most people do, like, you're adamant about what you expect from people, you know?
Yes.
Like, don't let yourself be walked all over and let people break rules. Like, be stern with people, tell them what you need from them. And if they can't do that, like, you know the consequences or whatever you want to do.
Yep.
But yeah, and then going back to what you said before, I mean, you have so much great information about knowing what messages to respond to and which ones you don't want to respond to. Like, that is up to you. Like, if you see a question that's even remotely uncomfortable for you to answer, you are kind of confused about, you can always ask for clarification. I've done that before, and I've definitely gotten some crazy responses of things that I was not expecting. You just ignore it. Like, ignoring it will not hurt you, and I think it's probably the best thing you can do. It depends on the level of like intensity of the question as to like how bad it is, or how uncomfortable it makes you, or how much you don't want it. But I think if it's just something that's just harmless, but also you're not willing to talk about, like, just ignore it. I've done that many times. That does not mean that every time I ignore a message, it's on purpose. Like, sometimes it just goes fast and I can't catch up. But people a lot ask me about personal information. That's not something I really want to talk about, just because obvious reasons. So I just ignore it. If people are asking me about where I live, or what I look like, or when I'm going to show what I look like I've told you guys, you can find it permanently on many platforms about when things like that are going to happen. But other than that, like, I don't really feel comfortable talking about that. Like, that's not what I feel like talking about. I don't want to talk about it, even if they want to. It's up to me, you know? Like, and when you're in, you know, the driver's seat streaming, you know, and you get the controls, like, it's up to you to determine if you want to answer things or not. It's completely your choice, you know?
Yeah. And the difference between what ignoring a chat comment looks like versus like striking somebody with the ban hammer or like timing them out. Fortunately, I haven't had to deal with too much of that on my channel, but I think that like, figure out what is going to be like a hard line that you do not want people to cross. And like, if it's a new chatter, you know, definitely like say, hey, like, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that has been involved in chat for a while and they still hit you with that, then like definitely time them out. If you have people that come in and they're like, it's the first time that they've ever chatted and they say something that is just incredibly inappropriate, then I will hit them with, at bare minimum, a timeout, and I will say, hey, this is a family-friendly channel. Let's stick with family-friendly, please. And thankfully, nothing has really escalated beyond that, but I think that a lot of new creators fall into the trap of not wanting to ban people, because they're like, hey, like, literally any attention that I'm going to get is going to help grow the channel. But that's not a really good mindset to be in, because if you have people who show up and they're super weird in chat and they make you uncomfortable, that is going to affect your content that you end up making. That's going to affect the attitude that you have when you end up playing whatever it is you're playing. And that's also going to make other people in chat feel really uncomfortable. Meanwhile, if you take those people that are being really inappropriate and you ban them, you send a very clear message about what sorts of behaviors are okay and acceptable and what sort of behaviors are not okay and unacceptable. And your audience is going to appreciate you for that, because they're going to feel safer. They're going to feel more comfortable. And then you have new viewers that are actually going to want to stay, because they're like, oh, they actually curate their community. Their community is much more safe and engaging. I'll go ahead and stick around, you know?
Yeah. I also think it's kind of piggybacking off what you said. It's not only what you do that can definitely drive, I was going to say villagers, viewers away, but also like what your chat does. Like, if, again, like you said, people are coming in who are making not only you uncomfortable, but other people question, why are they in a family-friendly stream if not all of the content is going to be family friendly from you and from the viewers? Why are they here? And it's also going to be a turnoff for them, and they're going to want to leave. So that's why it's important. You have to be like, again, I think warnings are great, but if it is continuous or just over the top wild comments, you got to act and you got to do something about it.
Twinette Mom says it's a lot like classroom management, and I will agree. As a teacher, I do think genuinely that being a teacher has made me a better streamer. Because as a teacher, golly gee, do I enjoy yapping. Oh, I love yapping. But I also have learned a lot about like behavior management and recognize that there's, frankly, a lot of people out there that like being goofy and silly and they like getting attention. And so you gotta find ways to deal with that. Like, if people are engaging in behavior and they're being really inappropriate because they want to like break a boundary with you, you say, no. There's a hard line. I'm drawing the line here. If they're doing something just because they want attention, then you ignore the bad behavior and instead encourage good behavior. you know? So at that point, you might want to like pivot and say, hey, chat, I've got a question for you. And then like just throw a real softball question out there about like, hey, what do you think is the best pizza topping and why is it pineapple? You know? And then have people engage in chat, and then you kind of model what a positive interaction is between chatter and Twitch streamer. And then eventually the people who are just seeking attention, they're gonna learn that if they want attention from you, then they gotta engage in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Boom.
Also, random question.
Yeah.
But whenever you're in the classroom, do you ever wish you could just like ban a student or like time them out?
For legal reasons, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the very accurate and real response, you know? Anyway.
Hellcat says, both those comments are so accurate, starting to think maybe I kind of lean more on trying to people please than keep myself comfortable. See, yeah, and that is so important. Like, as a small streamer, like, yeah, you want to have positive interactions with chat, and even if you have negative interactions with chat, the little monkey brain inside of you is going, ooh, look, attention, number go up, let's engage. But if you don't set very clear and healthy boundaries that are making you comfortable, then your chat's going to notice. And your performance as a streamer and as a content creator is going to suffer as a result. So setting healthy boundaries is ultimately, it is good for community building, and it is also good for making sure that you are the best streamer that you can be.
Yeah, exactly.
We have spent so much time on this question, but like, there's actually a lot to dive into. Yeah.
There's so much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's just no end.
How do you feel about the next one though?
Let's do it.
When you first started streaming, did you ever think you'd get this far?
No.
No.
Simply no. I didn't really. No. I mean, I feel like I had hopes. That was a huge dream of mine. And like I always say too, is like, I think it would be great if I could have so many followers, so many subscribers, so many viewers, but still keep the like small streamer vibe. Although that's not possible.
Yeah.
I still have like some kind of hope for some kind of like larger reach. But I mean, I definitely did not think that I would have so many regulars. I didn't think I was going to meet so many new friends and new people. I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything that I'm doing now. Like, if you told me 2 years ago what I'm doing now, I probably think you were dumb, you know, or I think I was dumb saying that. But yeah, I mean, definitely not. But am I incredibly happy and grateful that I am here? Yes, absolutely.
Definitely, yeah. Like, I kind of want to echo that I definitely had no idea that I would get this far. When I first started streaming, I had a much worse quality microphone. Again, didn't know what I was doing, and I was frankly lucky that like I got like 10 people showing up in my first stream, and that's only because Twilight was able to help promote. And probably the first like 6 to 7 months, it was just it wasn't a lot. It was I didn't improve much. I didn't really see much in terms of like follower growth or engagement or whatnot. But then, you know, I started putting myself a little bit more out there. I started experimenting with different things. I ended up meeting you, and
oh my gosh, wow.
yeah, no, like, and a lot of these things kind of snowballed into each other, and I gained a little bit more confidence as a streamer, and then eventually reached affiliate. And at that point, I was just kind of mind blown. I was like, wait, I reached affiliate? I can actually like earn ad revenue? What is this? Because when I first started, I was like, if I get 20 followers, like, that'll be cool. That'll be successful. This is probably just a phase anyways. And now 2 years in, I don't think that it's a phase. And I have an absolutely amazing community. And that is one thing that I really did not expect. Like, I expected to have fun. I expected to play video games. I expected to maybe crack some jokes. I did not expect to build a community that I'm genuinely proud to be a part of. That I think is probably the most mind-blowing thing to me. And that's why I want to keep doing it.
Exactly. I honestly am like so. I think it's so crazy how far you've come in like such a short amount of time, especially with the subathon, charity stream, like just those small moments. Actually, they lasted like hours and weeks,
You
but
get it, Star. Yeah.
like through the entire, time period of your streaming career, like only the small fraction of those streams have just launched your entire channel, and I think that's honestly so insane.
Yeah, and like I think that as long as you keep chipping at it, keep going at it, like eventually you're gonna get better, and maybe you get to be as world famous as PollywogNTDO and WobbleDude TV. Just saying.
I know. What can I say? We're just the streamers. Like when you think of Twitch, our face just appears in your mind. What can I say? I don't make the rules. I'm just the messenger, guys.
Real quick, I just want to say this because I noticed Calcat Comics was doing this. If you end up using the ask command in chat, just do ask !ask space and then your question. No worries, no worries. I probably should have communicated that a little bit clearer. But if you do ask space and then just add your question in the same chat message, then that's the way that it'll pull up. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
How about another one?
Let's do it. Ho ho. Okay, this one actually has some depth to it. I feel like this can go many different ways, but it's what is something you dealt with as a content creator that no one talks about? And this could be something in general that you think content creators go through, or something you've personally gone through.
Oh boy. I could talk endlessly about this. So, ever since making YouTube Shorts / Instagram Reels / TikTok, let's just call it short form content, okay? Ever since making short form content, I feel like I understand social media algorithms better, but I am still just as confused as ever. Like, on one hand, I know what is going to get more eyeballs to actually see the content that I end up making. I know the steps that need to be taken, but like I said, you gotta set healthy boundaries. 3 short form videos a week is basically my limit, with me still having a full-time job and not hiring editors to like do all of that for me. So that is what I'm able to do. When you end up posting short form content, one thing that is really confusing is that sometimes your videos will do phenomenally well on certain platforms and they will be straight up dead on other platforms. I have gotten short form videos that do like 5-figure view counts, or sometimes even 6-figure view counts on certain platforms, and then they get like 6 views on TikTok or something. And then there'll be other things where like I ended up having like a Pokemon short that did like it was something like 8,000 views, and then on YouTube it did like 3. And so that it's weird, and I don't quite know why certain videos perform better on other platforms as opposed to others. So that is something that is, I mean, there are probably some content creators that talk about that, but like finding ways to navigate all of the algorithms can be really, well, as Twinette Mom is saying, algorithms be tripping. Exactly. Like, tripping all over themselves all the way to the bottom of the barrel. Yes, absolutely. But the other thing that not too many content creators talk about is how much time it takes to edit short form videos. I don't know if I have talked about this, but some short form videos are really easy to tackle. There's like, if I have a really good and easy to edit short form video, it'll take me 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes if we're pushing it to edit it with all of the captions and everything and have it in a state that it is ready to be pushed out to those platforms. But on Monday, I had a short form video that literally took me 2.5 hours to edit. And it is a 1 minute video. And so the time investment that it takes to actually put those short form videos out there and to put them in a format that you are happy with the quality of, it takes a lot of time. And I don't hear many people talking about that time.
That's true. Yeah, I can agree because I don't hear anybody talk about how
Thank you so much for the follow, Aiden Crossing. Welcome on in.
Nice. Welcome on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like content from all over just takes a lot of time. Streaming, yes, I get that you just go live and then play a game and talk, but it's also the setup beforehand, the preparations, making of overlays. Yes. Literally, it has me clawing my hair out. I love it. That is a part of it where I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to spend like 30 minutes setting it up and like getting ready. Like sometimes, yeah, I low-key enjoy just drooling on myself at the computer for like hours on end, just like editing and making things. And like, if I'm in the mood to just edit and do things on my computer, like I will. But sometimes like I'm like, I want to stream so bad, but I don't want to do like the process leading up to it, you know? Or with YouTube videos, I love putting them out. I love coming up with the ideas. I love releasing them, see how they do, reading all your lovely comments. But like the editing process of like recording each individual 30-second video and then taking hours to take them from my Switch to my phone and then editing them and then making a thumbnail. Oh my gosh, love it. But it's like a love-hate relationship, you know?
Yes.
I was gonna say though, for my answer, I had a different one in mind too, although that one I can 1,010% agree with.
I do want to say real quick though that
no, you're good.
Like genuinely about like half of the work that you do as a streamer is not live. Half of it, if not more than half of it, is the stuff that you do outside of that, editing, preparing, using highlighter tools to like isolate different clips, creating overlays. I mean, the amount of time that we spent even just preparing for this format of stream arguably took just as much time as however long the stream is probably going to be. Yeah, there's a lot that happens behind the curtain.
Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error on stream while we're live, and also tons off stream. You know, we face challenges together trying to set up the chat commands, so if that gives you any idea of the calls and the time and the editing and the coding, it was crazy. But I mean, it was worth it in the end, and it always is. It just takes a minute for sure. But my answer to this is the fact that, and like this is kind of like cliche, I guess, but it's the fact that nobody really talks about, that I've heard, the fact that content creators are also real people with real lives, you know? Yeah, I think when people cancel streams, when they say they can't upload a video, when maybe you only uploaded one video, maybe no like short form videos or short form content, like you normally do, like switch up anything at all, forget to post something out, you know, like, oh, I'll get to that, I'll send that out tomorrow. People, they have very short attention spans and very short tempers, I want to say, like when it comes to that, like they always want content now. They don't really see you as a person, and like some of you guys, obviously we love you, you're empathetic, and I get that, like for sure, thank you guys so much, but I feel like the majority of viewers and people who enjoy content rather than make it, like they don't really get the fact we have lives too, whether you know what we're doing or not. Like I still have a life, I have people I want to spend time with, I have things I need to do, and obviously it's the same for you too, Wobble Dude. But I think people overlook that a lot, and I don't know, I would say especially obviously once you are a content creator, if anybody here does end up becoming a content creator, like you will understand it. But even if that's something that you don't see yourself doing in the future, like I just asked that, like maybe if I cancel the stream, that's not the reason, but also I think you need to give people a little bit more of like you need to be a little bit more relaxed when things like that happen, when cancellations happen. Like don't worry about it, like the world won't end, I promise.
Yeah, one thing to definitely consider, if you find yourself really wanting like clawing at whatever content your favorite content creator is making, and you want them to do more, you want them to like release videos at a more consistent schedule, consider that like a lot of that attitude of wanting to get the next thing that X entity has created in a set amount of time comes from like network TV. Like if you want to see a new episode of your favorite TV show, like back before streaming, you would just be able to get that reliably at the same time every week. And then like for streaming, you have so many things that are on demand with Netflix and Max and Hulu and whatnot. Hulu's, I guess, still a thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But then when you're talking about like a content creator, you're dealing with an entirely different level of content, because with TV shows, you have literally hundreds of people that their full-time job is making sure that all the gears and cogs are working together to make sure that that TV show is working. And then if you're working with a content creator, consider that that's not hundreds of people. For a lot of small streamers, it's literally one person and maybe one or two people who serve on their mod team. And so you just have to recognize that like the reliability of content that you get with TV or with like Netflix is not the same reliability that you get with Twitch or YouTube. And there are some channels that make it work phenomenally. Good Mythical Morning has been uploading content every single weekday, with maybe some like seasons off and whatnot, like for like summer and whatnot. But they've been doing that for, oh God, how long? Like 18 years? 17 years?
Something crazy.
Yeah. They, I think, should be the exception and not the norm.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of things that people don't talk about, but I also feel like, why aren't we open about it? Like, I feel like we need to start kind of branching out, talking about things that aren't always talked about. I do have another answer for this one, although I don't know if it really counts because it does get talked about a good amount. I think it's a very common, not just stereotype, but also it just happens commonly between content creators. But hate and weird comments and things that usually, like, I think a lot of the time for what I do personally, especially when I'm making content on like YouTube or things that aren't necessarily live, but like pre-created and then uploaded, as I kind of brush it under the rug. I don't love creating, especially because I can't have as much control on the family-friendly topic on platforms that aren't Twitch, you know? But I still want to keep that vibe as much as I can on my other socials. And so it is difficult when I get comments I don't love. I usually just brush them under the rug and delete it because I don't want to make a scene about it if I don't have to. Because as soon as people see that's kind of what I'm getting for comments, I feel like it could also be kind of just like a turnoff, and I don't like that. So, I mean, some people are really open about hate, but I do know many people who just brush it under the rug and like pick up their things and just move on with their life, you know? But that is one I was thinking of, but because it does get talked about and it is a stereotype of like, if you create content, you're gonna get hate, and like, it doesn't happen to me a whole lot, but it definitely does to especially larger creators or people who, for some reason, people find something to hate about. Like, I don't know, there's a weird stereotype and algorithm with that too, whatever that is. Unfortunately, hate has an algorithm, but, you know.
Yeah, and part of that is like YouTube literally encourages engagement, and they do not care if it's positive or negative. They care if you stay on the platform. And so if you staying on the platform means that they are going to feed you nonstop content that you do not like, and you hit the dislike button, like, YouTube's just going to give you more of that content because it keeps you on the platform and engaging. And so, yeah, there are a lot of people that either they're influenced by that, or they feel like being mean to people on the internet is an okay thing to do, and they leave nasty comments. And when that happens, hopefully you can use the system's own internal comment moderation. And if that doesn't catch everything, then you do have to kind of go in and manually do it. And some videos it's going to be easier than others. That's an unfortunate part of just being on the internet in a way that everybody can interact with everything. But I think that if you have a consistent brand, and especially on Twitch, where you have like, you say, I am a family-friendly content creator, and these are the ways in which I'm going to moderate my comments. Hopefully that bleeds over into other platforms. It's not a guarantee. But if you have a brand that is like all about wanting to be wholesome, then chances are people are going to engage in a wholesome way. For me, I know that it's a little bit complicated because sometimes I'm wholesome and sometimes I'm just straight up chaotic. And when I bring chaotic energy into the content, sometimes I get very chaotic comments. YouTube comments are the worst. Can I just like be on the record of saying that? Like
Please do, yeah.
Out of all of the platforms that I regularly post to, YouTube comments have consistently been the weirdest and worst. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube accounts, what is going on? Please go outside and touch grass every now and then. Gee whiz. I
know. I've seen from your shorts. My jaw is on the floor half the time because I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What? Like, crazy. Please admit that.
Sometimes I just let them slide because it's like, you're not harming anybody. If you start acting mean, then I'm gonna delete your comment. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Especially because it's like really interesting, especially on videos or like reels and shorts that I've seen that get like a lot of reach for you, because like the more views, the more comments, the more likes. And so when you see all of these comments from people who aren't usually in your typical community, it's like really interesting to see how they interact with you, because like I know you pretty well, but then for those people who are like just figuring out about you that day, like I don't know, I think that's just interesting about comments in general and other platforms.
Yeah, unfortunately on my best performing Instagram reel, there was like a comment full on thread that ended up like taking a real racist like far turn, and I was like, how? What? Guys, chill, please. And so I had to go in and like hide so many comments, and I'm like, why? Don't you have something better to do? You could literally, like, why would you leave a comment like that when instead you could, like, eat a pretzel?
Literally. Like there's
eating a pretzel is so much more pleasant of an experience than leaving nasty comments, you know? That's just one option, you know?
Yeah. Like, you could eat a crab rangoon.
You could eat a crab rangoon. There are so many things that you could eat. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You could go for a walk. You could, like, pet a dog.
Or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can go, like, be nice online, maybe. That's also an option, too, but I guess they chose the other one because it sounded more fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. I did not catch that one, but I believe you, because what? Crazy.
Moderate your content, folks. Moderate your content.
Yes. Yeah. It's important. Even if you think you don't want to do it, it's very important.
All right, next question. I'm gonna do something weird though. I think I'm gonna read the next question, and then I'm gonna really quickly fill my water while you start answering, and I'm hoping I'm not gonna miss most of it.
Okay, I'll make sure to talk for a very long time.
Okay. How long have you been streaming, and how much longer do you expect or hope to continue?
Okay, so guys, I don't know how to answer this in a very long way, but I'm gonna drag it out, because hydration is important. Okay, I've been streaming since, again, correct me if my date is wrong, but I think it was like June 18th, 2021, which is very impressive. If you ask me, I stuck around for this or with this for a very long time. Been streaming like 3 days a week, basically every week, with give or take some schedule changes, some breaks. But I've been streaming for pretty long time now. I'm actually, okay, a question that I'm actually very curious about, that's rhetorical and for myself.
Okay.
As I'm genuinely curious as to how many streams I have done, because I absolutely have not uploaded all of them to my VODs channel on YouTube. But I do have a really good amount on there, but I don't know. Like, I wish there was somewhere I could see like a stream count where it showed me how many times I've streamed, but I've been streaming for a long time. And then I hope to continue for as long as I can. Like, I have no plans to stop. I'm just doing this more so as like something for fun. I really don't do it for money, although I know a lot of people do. Not that I'm saying I don't appreciate money. Like, if you guys want to subscribe or cheer bits, like, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But like, that's not my motivation.
Are you saying that if they subscribe to your channel that they could potentially get ad-free viewing?
That is true. I've gotten a couple notifications from Star saying that there's ads interrupting streams. So if you don't want that to happen, guys, you're more than welcome to subscribe to the channel. I actually, you will, if you subscribe as well, get a free Wobble Frog emote. It's free right now for anyone who follows, but if you subscribe, you can have it for longer than just today. I'm just saying, okay? Who is Granny PollywogNTDO? Who is that, Star? Oh, because I'm going to be streaming till I'm like a grandma. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. That's me. Don't wear my name out. I will say, Polly is like a peak grandma name. Like, there is not a more grandma name than Polly. It's like top of the pyramid, top tier. Anyway,
yeah, I
but
think
no,
Agnes has definitely earned its spot there, but yeah, It's all
That's
good.
okay. That's true. There's a lot. There's many fun names that I think are grandma names. Polly's pretty good. Like imagine like Granny Polly. Like I like that star. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I think I want to go for as long as I can with streaming. I really hope that nothing gets in the way. Like I doubt I'm gonna have any like life-changing experiences where I like win the lotto or like I get accepted. Somebody like knocks my door and they're like, "Hey, so we have a position for you to actually become an actress." Maybe I'd join. Maybe I'd like ditch streaming for that, but I doubt that's gonna happen because nobody knows the coolness I'm hiding from the world. But
True.
TBD is all I can say about how long I'm gonna go for. But what about you?
I have been streaming since August or late July, early August of 2022. So I have been streaming for a little bit over 2 years now. Pretty consistently, I've been streaming twice a week. I know that you stream 3 times a week, and I wish that I could, but again, a lot of that comes back to establishing a healthy balance. I don't know if I would be able to stream 3 times a week and still have time for my social life, have time just on my own to like, because sometimes I feel extroverted, sometimes I feel introverted, and those moments where I want to be introverted, I'm like, no, I'm gonna shut out the world and I'm just gonna recharge my batteries. And I would not be able to do that if I stream 3 times a week. So, yeah, only 2 times a week, with some exceptions, obviously, like subathon and like. I think throughout most of summer, I've been able to stream 3 times a week, at least after I got back from the trip. But like once the school year hits, I'm gonna like do 2 streams a week. How much longer do you expect or hope to continue? For the foreseeable future, I plan on doing it. At least for the next few years, easily. I don't think that I'm gonna do it forever though. I probably am gonna tap out from streaming maybe when I'm like reaching a midlife crisis. I've thought about this. Is it weird to think about what you're gonna do for your midlife crisis before you end up doing it?
My toxic trait is thinking that I just will never have one. Like I think I'm just gonna be like too good for a midlife crisis.
You know what?
But I have thought about it before.
That's good. Like,
yeah.
In an ideal world, I'm not going to have a midlife crisis. And I'm just gonna keep cruising and I'm gonna feel great and confident and I am going to age gracefully. I plan on aging gracefully, but if I hit like 40, 45, and I have that midlife crisis where most men would want to go out and buy like a Lamborghini, I think that's the point where I would quit streaming, and then I would move to the Anaheim area, and then I would become a skipper for the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Okay. You put a lot of thought into that one.
No, I have because I think that I would be a pretty good skipper for Jungle Cruise. If you've never ridden the Jungle Cruise, it's like a boat ride with animatronic animals, and the whole thing is that the skippers, the people who are piloting the boats, they do a bunch of terrible puns at each of the different animatronic scenes, and I am so good at dad jokes and puns that I feel like I would be in my moment. Just imagining the rush of adrenaline that fills my veins every time I stop by the exact same animatronic scene and I say the exact same dad joke and I get the exact same groans, but from entirely different tourists. Just, oh my God. Oh, I would love to do that.
That is the perfect job for you. That's a Disney, right?
It is. I think that my midlife crisis is going to be being a skipper on the Jungle Cruise.
That's literally the most perfect thing for you. I do approve of it, but you have to promise me one thing, that you can get me some like free passes to Disney or something.
I will definitely see what I can do. Yeah.
And if you're gonna work there, I feel like you got some benefits. So if you can sneak me in,
yeah,
that'll be great.
Yeah,
Disney's
I will do what I can.
Crazy expensive. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
It is so insanely expensive.
I know.
And like as a side note, I'm not paid to say this, but like Universal Studios is kind of crushing it. And I'm really excited for Epic Universe to come out. The only problem is I don't want to visit Florida. So like, I
forgot. Are you an anti-Florida person?
I am an anti-Florida person. Tried and true. I bravely stand against the sovereign nation of Florida.
I'm a proud Florida supporter. I don't know why. I think it's just really fun. Only for like a couple weeks, and then I want to go home because it's all muggy and gross, and I can't look at the same spider every single day that wants to attack me. All the critters there freak me out, but I think it's really fun, and I do prefer Disney World rather than Disneyland. I can't say much though because I've never been to Disneyland, but I don't know. I've heard that it's a lot smaller than Disney World, rightfully so.
I have not been to Magic Kingdom. I've been to Animal Kingdom and Epcot in Florida. I have been to Disneyland. I really like Disneyland. And Disneyland Paris is pretty darn cool. I really like Disneyland Paris.
You've been all over. Oh my goodness gracious.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, that was...
yeah.
Yeah, no. And I want to... I know that this is like the Disney adult parentheses derogatory close parentheses that is coming out. But
Yeah,
like, I
I'm
do
waiting for
kind of want to visit all the Disney parks. I think that might be a bucket list thing for me.
That is a good goal to have for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just going back to what you said. I like how you casually threw in the Paris was pretty good too. What do you mean? Things I would
It's
do to,
just
like,
a
just
very
get on a plane and go to
beautiful
Paris.
park. It's widely regarded by many people to be the prettiest Disney park. And as someone who is very biased towards the Disneyland in California, I think that Paris is gorgeous. So,
Yeah, I can only imagine. You did say
Also-
it stinks really bad though.
Well, the city of Paris stinks.
Well,
Disneyland
yeah.
does a pretty good job of maintaining sense in their park. Twilight Mom says, stay away from Australia.
I wasn't planning on going there. It does
Okay.
scare me too.
Okay.
It's also not real, so I don't know where I would be going.
It's also going to be really difficult to like try to read everything upside down.
Yeah, I know for sure.
It's going to be quite the adjustment. Yeah. Oh, regarding the animals. Yeah. Okay.
Regarding the animals, I know. Imagine like waking up and just seeing like a kangaroo out your hotel window. Like that would be kind of freaky.
I wouldn't mind a kangaroo.
I heard they're like dangerous or something. I don't know.
Well,
I've never
like
been to
kangaroos
Australia.
are
It's
also
not real.
like. Have you seen a kangaroo and how like ripped they are? They are so buff.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my gosh, they have pecs that could crush walnuts between them. It's insane. No, I was thinking of like the spiders. Yeah, 8-inch spiders. Twilight Mom says.
Oh my
8-inch
gosh.
spiders.
I would rather just blow up into a million pieces than have to see an 8-inch spider.
Okay, that's
That's my
Wow.
like easy solution. Like that's my DIY like spider repellent is just blowing up.
wow. Okay, all right. That's gonna be a no from me. Yeah, 8-inch spider. Yeah, I would not like. I don't mind spiders. I've even said this. Like, I'm fine with spiders even living in my apartment because they can eat the bad bugs. But there is a size limit. Like,
Yeah.
if the spider is like half the size of my palm, I'm like, okay, buddy, I think that you need to like lay off the weights and like chill a little bit, you know?
I don't know how big your hand is, but I looked at mine and that's already scary enough, so I'm good.
Yeah.
No, if I can at least see 8 legs, I'm done. I don't care if it's like the size of my pinky nail or if it's like the size of the tip of a pin. I don't care. Get it away. Like literally, but I've had like sleep paralysis because of spiders. Like I see one and I lose it and I'm not going to bed for a week. It's genuinely like a really bad phobia of mine. I need to get that checked out, but
See,
I wish that I was chill.
a really haunting image just popped in my mind, and now I need to say it out loud and make all of you suffer. Because you
Okay.
said if I see 8 legs, I'm just done. And I'm like, wait, she didn't specify what animal the legs have to be from. So now I want you to imagine a giant spider, but with human legs for legs.
Okay.
Yep. Good luck sleeping
Wha-
tonight.
I like the way that's the first thing you thought of. No, okay.
Peachy, really?
Banned. What did Peachy say?
Guys, stop hating on us in Australia, but she typed it all upside down.
I got that one too. I
Oh
know.
my
I couldn't read
goodness.
it though because it was upside down.
Yeah.
I know. All right, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
On the note of spiders with human legs. Now, at what age did you start to play games? And do you remember what was your first game you played? I am so excited for this question.
Go for it. I'm giving you the
Okay.
microphone.
Okay. I'm gonna start with, I guess, first grade, because even though I didn't get like my first gaming console until the Game Boy Advance SP when I was in 3rd grade, I started technically playing video games when I was in first grade because a lot of the friends that I went to school with, they had the Game Boy Color. And the two games that I was just obsessed with from my friend's Game Boy, and I was so thankful that he was able to like let me share with this, is Toy Story for the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Gold. Now, Twilight Mom...
Okay, good starter games, yeah.
Twilight Mom is chiming in and saying there's Jumpstart Preschool. Okay, so technically it goes back earlier. I guess that I started playing video games as early as 3 or 4 years old, because my family ended up getting me like a bunch of the preschooler PC games that were like done by Fisher-Price, to probably to sell more Fisher-Price toys and whatnot. But I did Jumpstart Preschool, where like I would go to like a virtual preschool in a computer game, and I would get to like play games with the class fish, and I would get to like do activities and whatnot. And that was good. I have a weird nostalgia for those like preschooler PC games. Like one of these days I'm probably going to end up streaming them just for fun.
Why not?
But yeah, Game Boy Color that I occasionally borrowed from friends on the bus to school, and that was Toy Story for the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Gold. And I was not good at either of them, but it was a lot of fun. And then the Game Boy Advance came out, and the Game Boy Advance SP came out, and I remember just being blown away at the games that you could play, because you could play SpongeBob, you could play Finding Nemo, you could play all of the licensed games that weren't actually very well designed games, but I lost my mind about them because I was like 7 and 8. So I finally was able to save up enough money to buy the Game Boy Advance SP, and Costco ended up having a bundle that was a Game Boy Advance SP, a case for it, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, and a game guide for navigating through the game. And I played that game religiously. I loved it. I never beat it when I was a kid. I only got to World 7. But I guess that would probably be the moment where you say that I started to play games, because like I bought my own Game Boy, I started playing my own games. Technically I played games prior to that, but I will always have such strong nostalgia for Super Mario Bros. 3 because I ended up getting it for the Game Boy.
Honestly, yes, absolutely. Okay, those games are all low-key great though. I can 100% agree. And yeah, there's definitely a nostalgia with those like preschool games. When the games involve education, like automatically it got me hooked, you know?
Yes.
But for mine, I have no idea. I feel like I've definitely been asked this question before in stream, like a really long time ago. And I definitely just whipped an answer out of thin air. I genuinely don't know. I don't know what age I started to play games at, but it was probably pretty early. Probably like you. 3, 4 sounds about right. But I don't know. And I have not a clue what my first game was. You have way better long-term memory than I do, I guess. You remember like down to the dates and like the time. You're like, it was 7:02 p.m. on Monday. Like
I think that part of it is also my younger siblings played some of those games too. So
True.
Yeah.
No, I have no clue. If I were to take a rough shot in the dark guess with like some kind of category, it may be something Mario. Do I know what game? Not a clue. But that's like as much as I can say without like any more I say is gonna just spread like false information because I don't know and I don't want to make stuff up. But yes, I guess that's like where I could leave it off.
I mean, Mario's such a great like gateway video game, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely my first game was 110%. I keep saying 110%, but it was definitely not anything outside of Nintendo. I can confirm that. The only other console I've played on that's not Nintendo that I can think of is really like an Xbox 360. Other than that, I don't think I've ever played on anything not Nintendo, which I guess loyal of me, but like I need to branch out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really have like no set answer. You answered it too perfectly, and I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mario was your first, because like when I look at video game design, Like, if you try to explain to a new person how to understand an MMO or how to understand, like, really complicated RPGs, they're going to be lost. But give them Mario and show them the arrows make you go, and then this button makes you jump. Instantly, everybody knows how to play. So
yeah, I knew how to play. Was I good? No. Am I good now? No. Somehow I still lost the ability to like have skill. That
but do you have fun when you're playing?
Absolutely, yeah.
Then that's important. That's all that
it's
matters.
Important, but some skill would be nice too. Maybe one day.
Yep. Next question.
All right, let's go.
All right. Do you think short or long form content is better to advertise a Twitch channel? I've got thoughts. Do you have thoughts? Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts. Let's see. I think both. I think for Twitch though, I would say short term English, because yeah, like I said before, it gets out. It's very popular. Many more people are gonna see it rather than like a YouTube video that's like full size. And I've definitely tried both ways. I think I didn't promote my content through anything. Like, I didn't promote my Twitch channel through content. That's the thing. I made other content that had nothing to do with Twitch, and then people found my Twitch channel through that. So it wasn't like I'm like, go watch me on Twitch, guys, and then they like watched me. Like, I just made my silly Animal Crossing videos, and then people were like, oh, I like her. Went to see what else I have, and then they found Twitch. Usually that's how it happened. And it's Chloe. Chloe just was scrolling on Twitch and happened to find my channel. The rest is history. But yeah. And then she's been here for years, literally since 2021, actually. Fun fact.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's personal preference, but also I think if you want to be effective, I would say shorts, but long form content isn't bad. It's still an option. Not as great, but it works.
Huh. All right.
You probably have a different take on this though, because I know you actually do a lot of this to promote Twitch.
I do.
I don't. So yeah.
But like, I also think that it's kind of interesting how you started off with YouTube and then migrated to Twitch, and obviously you still do both. So like, I can see where your perspective is coming from. First of all, Twilight, good to have you here. I hope that you're happy, healthy, and hydrated. I think that the question itself is like, the answer requires some nuance, and it's probably gonna vary from channel to channel. If you are a Twitch streamer and most of your streams kind of fit with it, like a specific formula, and I would say that for the most part, my streams kind of fit in with this. Of like, I'm just gonna play a game, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna chat, we're probably gonna be talking about food at some point, and we're gonna have some fun. Then I think that YouTube shorts are probably like short form content is good for getting as many eyeballs as possible to see what you are made of. But there are lots of downsides to short form content, and TikTok is probably the exception to this rule, because a lot of people, when they want short form content on TikTok, they follow specific creators and they end up becoming really big fans of like those particular creators. With Instagram and YouTube, I feel like it's more that they don't necessarily follow like short form content for the creator, but more like what the creator offers them in terms of like I don't know, that I'm just yapping at this point. Short form content is really good for like getting highlights of your stream out if your streams kind of fit like with a particular formula. But not every creator is necessarily going to get the most out of this. If you're the type of content creator like Doug, for instance. Doug is one of my favorite creators. Definitely not family friendly, but he finds such creative ways to use his knowledge of coding and his integration of different AI programs, as much as I don't like AI, to play games that I have played, but play them in ways that I have never even thought of before. like one of his most recent videos is about like interacting with Skyrim NPCs, and if we're gonna like take the dialogue that this Skyrim NPC has, we're gonna run it through like an AI algorithm. That program is going to determine the general mood that that NPC has, and if the NPC is happy, then we're gonna spawn a bunch of cheese. And if that NPC is not happy, then we're gonna spawn a bunch of bears. And like, who comes up with that type of idea? That type
Literally,
of idea,
what?
it's so wild. It's so wild. And that type of idea, you simply cannot distill into a 60-second clip and have it make sense to people who are just casually scrolling. For that type of content, you need to have long-form content. So here's what I will say. This is a long story short. Short, get it? Okay. If you want people to see the best highlights from your stream and say, you know, this is the content that I want to put out there. Hold up. Thank you, CowCat, for that. Then short form content is the way to go. But if you want new viewers to come across your content and have a general idea of what an entire stream is going to feel like, you want edited long-form content. I would love to put edited long-form content out there, but I straight up do not have the time to edit like 2, 3, 4 hour long VODs into like 20 or 30 minutes. I literally do not have it within my schedule to be able to pull that off. And so I stick with short-form content. Both definitely have their perks, but yeah. Short-form content is good for people to get like little tiny snippets and highlights, but if you want people to have a good view of what your stream is in general, in a condensed form, you got to do long-form content. And I think that you're going to have a much stronger community if you have long-form content that actually sticks around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like you're saying with Doug. Point Crow also does similar things.
Yes.
Also not family friendly, but you know, oh my gosh, did you see his most recent video? It was absolutely wild. Also something that could not be explained in like 30 seconds to a minute. I wish I could try to explain it, but I already forgot. It was something about how he modded Tears of the Kingdom to make Link pregnant, and he had to like make something before. I don't know. Okay, absolutely wild. You're like, who thinks of this? Who thinks of this stuff? That could not be explained to me. Still, even through the VOD he put out, I still don't get it. He's Point Crow. Very weird. But that's where long form content comes into play, where you need to explain crazy things like that. It just depends on the content you're making. And then for shorts, like I know you do, you put out shorts for just moments of streams, ideas of streams, maybe give some background information real quick as to what the stream was all about. And like, you know, it could work either way. Again, it's just up for what you do and what you need to do to get the point across.
Yeah, you just got to figure out like what strengths you want to use and like go that route. Yeah,
exactly. We got one more question left.
One more question. Yeah,
one more. 10 minutes after stream. I think we got this.
All right. I would also like to ask this question.
Yeah, go for it. No, you go for it.
How do you go about finding mods if family and friends aren't as available? Might not need many if just starting. Question mark? Yeah, this is a question that I have because I also need to expand my mod team.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would if I also wasn't streaming when you are, but, you know.
Nah, I get it.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a set answer, though? I feel like you do.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I kind of have.
I have ideas of how you would go about doing it because I've talked to Twilight about it, but like do you have an answer to this?
A little bit, yeah. So I definitely know this issue. I thankfully have some friends that were able to help me. So the wonderful Peachy and Star, thank you so much. But if you don't have physical people around to help you, nobody's busy, you don't know anybody who's willing to do this, because I think being a mod is definitely a big commitment. You're always tuning into streams, you always have to kind of be actively watching. You can lurk at the same time, but you always have to make sure your eyes on chat when things go wrong, or be attentive to when the streamer is asking you to delete something or maybe to add something, give a shout out. You know, it is a lot of work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But there are limited ways you can get a replacement for physical person as a mod. There's many different programs and platforms that have like computer or like botted mods, you know. So there's some on Stream Elements, Streamlabs, the Mix It Up bot. Those are just a couple examples. But you can set all of the settings. Some of them offer more not content, but more settings and things than others. But for the majority of the things that those have in common, I don't know about Mix It Up bot. I'm not as familiar with that one. But they can moderate things, so you can type in or make settings so that certain keywords you don't want in your stream are put into code, so that way when somebody says one of those keywords that you've banned, it will delete messages. You can delete links, which I do just because I have other bots that come into my stream and promote random weird stuff and try to put links in my chat that I don't want. So that does mean I have to sacrifice you guys putting fun links in here, but it's just for the safety of you guys, so nobody's clicking on things they don't need to be clicking on. But just things like that where you can ban things. No, automod is not your op, Peachy. Be nice to automod. But yeah, you can change the name. That's also where I use chat commands, so you can do things
very
like
silly,
yes, 100%. They do get silly because they're not real people.
Yeah.
They're a little goofy. They messed up. They'll ban you for saying stupid things, or not ban you, but delete messages for saying weird things, time you out. It depends on how like severe or how intense you made the settings. That is an option though. Obviously, it can only do so much and not as much as a real person, but it's a start. And then also, I would say if you're, as this question asks, like if you are just starting streaming, you still need moderation. It is really important, and I think especially as smaller streamers, especially if you are first starting out and have no followers, no viewers, you're a very easy target for bots to come in and try to promote viewers or try to just type absolute yap in your chat. And you can tell. Sometimes people just talk like bots, so you don't really know. But there is definitely a fine line where you can just tell something's a little off, especially if they're just, I don't know, there's vibes. And you don't really want that in your chat a lot of the time, so that's why it is still important, regardless if you have a big following or not, to have some kind of moderation or bots ready to go, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Mix It Up bot, they're all great options for starters. You can also probably look up YouTube tutorials as to all the settings it has to offer, how to set up certain settings you might want, and how to do anything else you're wondering. But that is like my best kind of answer to this question, because it is a little tricky and it's a lot more convenient, easier to have real people, but when it's not available, there's always solutions, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting some really cool things in chat. So Calcat says, like, asking, can we have a follower that we're comfortable with mod, but like at the same time building trust kind of seems like it would take a while. I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody has been sticking with the channel consistently and they know what sort of behaviors are acceptable in chat and what behaviors are not acceptable in chat, then there might be an opportunity to reach out to them like on Discord and saying, hey, I know that you've been a part of this community for a long time. Like, have you considered doing this? Obviously, no pressure. One thing that I'm thinking about doing that I think is a little bit more equitable is like creating a Google Forms sort of a Google Forms like application where you would have people in your community, if they're interested in modding, they would submit information and like you would be able to rifle through those applications and then select the person or the group of people that you think are going to best suit your community. Super Nintendo also says, a guy I built a friendship with in a mutual stream was my first mod. He motivated me to start streaming in the first place because we like the same kind of content. I clarified what I was hoping to maintain on the channel, and he agreed and has been there since the beginning. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
Like, if you have somebody that has been with you since the start and you have like kind of a mutual trust of what sort of things you want in your chat and in your community, and they're willing to be a mod, then definitely go that is awesome. I am very thankful that I have Twinite as a mod, but he's also like literally my brother and he helped promote the channel like since the very start. He's I believe the only human mod that I've got for now. And I'm probably going to set up an application soon for like having more mods, just because like part of it is Twinite is a phenomenal mod, and he honestly knows way more about mod view than I do. But I know that he's not able to make it to every stream. And I want to make sure that, you know, there's somebody in here who is able to like shut down comments if I'm not able to do so super live. But like if you are just starting out streaming, I think that you mentioned this earlier, make sure that you have at least one human mod. Somebody that you can trust. Because the bots, Stream Elements and Nightbot, they do a pretty darn good job, and they can filter out most of the stuff. But if you are in the heat of the moment and you're playing a game and you are focused almost entirely on the gameplay because you need to make this move and it's gotta be clutch, otherwise you lose the match, then sometimes people are going to show up in chat and they're going to be really weird. And you want to have a mod that is able to take care of the stuff that Nightbot and Stream Elements are not able to do. So if you're able to find a family or friend that is able to help out there, then fantastic. If not, then... Well, I actually don't know. If I wish I could offer better advice there.
Yeah, no, that seems like a really good example, actually, and I guess I never thought of that before. But also, another thing I want to add on to that, too, is that my mindset to being online in general, but specifically content creating, is that everything is just a click away, especially when things go wrong.
Yes.
So, for example, if we use your tactic and you find somebody you really trust, really wants to have them as a mod, give them the mod permissions, and they abuse it, do something wrong, like entirely wrong, it's one click away from a ban, you know? You're doing a collab with somebody, God forbid they do something horrible, you're one click away from just ending stream, cutting it off, you know? Mm-hmm. You're at somebody's Animal Crossing island, they're doing horrible things, you're one click away from going back home, you know? It's like, that's really what you're doing anytime you're online. You're one click away from, like, saving yourself. And most damage that I think can be done from mods is, like, reversible. Like, if somebody gets banned, you can unban them. Messages being deleted is a little different. I mean, there's always solutions, there's always problems that you're gonna face, but like I would say I do like that idea though of like finding somebody you trust and being able to hire them or give them some kind of position in that. I think it's a good solution, and I never thought of that before.
Yeah. And like having them as a mod is also going to like it realistically puts them in a position of authority within the community. And so like along with that title comes a pretty serious responsibility, because they're going to be a reflection of not just the best aspects of your community in the way that they should be interacting, but they unfortunately are also going to be kind of a reflection of the worst aspects of your community if they end up letting people get away with things that they shouldn't get away with. And so it is a huge responsibility for mods. Ideally, you want to have somebody that you feel like you can trust. Family and friends are definitely a go-to. Maybe one thing that you could do if you don't have family or friends that would be willing to do it is like just do your best with a lot of the inbuilt modding features that are through Stream Elements and through Nightbot. Like I know that for me, for instance, there is a list of very naughty swear words that I typed in and said, hey, if these words show up, automatically time them out. And so that is a thing that I have set up, and I've got some weirdos in chat that still found a way to like circumvent those that list of words. And so eventually you're going to have to start adding new words as it goes along. But if you're able to automate that process through Stream Elements, then you're able to make things easier for the human mods that will eventually join your team. And after a while, you'll become familiar with different users in chat. You'll kind of pick up on little quirks that people have or little nuances that they have. And if you have somebody that like through the vibes are just a good representation of what you want your community to go for, then that might end up being a mod for you if they're willing to do it. Yeah. Human creativity for
exactly.
evil with those kind of workaround. I know. Like it gives middle schooler. Like finding where the line is drawn and finding the most creative way to go around that line to be in places that they shouldn't be. I'm like, no, get back there. You stop that.
I know. No, I never set that up. I had the opportunity to set up the list that I can. I think I will, but right now somehow Automod is still taking care of everything that happens.
Yeah.
And I've had words that I would have banned on that list just being deleted right away. I don't know how or what I did, but like I don't want to mess with it too much. But yeah, I mean, it is a really good, useful tool to have.
Yeah. Automod definitely helps, but recognize that sometimes if you set the strictest restrictions, Automod will ban the stupidest things. Like, Automod thinks that stupid is a bad word, for instance.
I know. Yeah, I remember there's been multiple times where people have called me like funny names because I mess up really bad, and it like will time them out and like delete the message. It'll be like, you got timed out for bullying and harassment. I'm like, girl, I don't know, wild. Like you just undo it with a click, but like it's so stupid. We all have a good laugh about it, but we're like, what was that? It's Automod being goofy. That's what it is.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun, and I know that I'm kind of putting you on the spot, so you're gonna have to forgive me with this, but I do have one last question, and I'm not typing it here. It just appeared in my chat. I'm just gonna go ahead and ask it. From Cowcat Comics. Do you think you do another stream similar to this someday? It's wonderful.
Absolutely. I had a blast. Yeah. I expected to have a blast, and somehow my expectations were still, like, it exceeded my expectations after doing the stream. I loved it. You guys had great questions. You had great answers, too. Like, every time you speak, I'm like, well, now I don't know.
Can you tell that I spend a lot of time thinking about this, actually?
Yeah, you're definitely, like, the thought daughter, you know, like, who just thinks all the time. That's what I imagine you as. But, like, I am, too, but I guess not to the extent that you are, because I should have been more, like, mentally prepared before this. But I don't know. I think we both came up with pretty good answers in general, for sure.
Yeah. No, this was a lot of fun. I knew that I was going to have fun with this stream, but, like, the conversation just kept rolling, and there were so many different ways to explore. And I feel like even now, we just barely scratched the surface of things that we could talk about with streaming. So,
it's crazy.
This was so much fun. We definitely needed to do it again sometime. We could do, like, streamer advice. We could do, like, other topics as well. I think that this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. And this can have so many different directions, too. And, we can do something other than like asking about streaming, like you said, or like ask small streamer part 2. Like I don't know, like there's so many things you can do with this for sure. I had a blast. We're gonna need to make another appointment for not appointment. What is this? Doctor's appointment. We're gonna need to schedule another collab stream because they're so fun.
Yes, this is a doctor's appointment. Now open up and say
No, it's okay. Also, something that I found really funny too is the fact that even though this is a Q&A and we had no right to bring this up, we still brought up Crab Rangoon somehow.
Of course. I mean, we have to. Crab Rangoons are amazing.
I know. Why wouldn't we? I'm just saying, like, that's pretty impressive that we still managed.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. We are going to start wrapping things up, but make sure to stick around because I'm going to try my best to raid another family-friendly content creator. But hey, PollywogNTDO, where can the people find you?
I love that you call me by my government name. I would have to say that you guys can find me. Sorry,
it's your Christian name. Oh, forgive
me. No. You guys can find me here on Twitch, obviously. Make sure to drop a follow or subscribe if you enjoyed this on both of our channels, obviously. Yeah. Although it's not required whatsoever, it is obviously highly appreciated. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, by the username PollywogNTDO. PollywogNTDO is like my universal username, so you can basically type that in most any platform I have and it'll come up. But you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok and Discord. So check out all of my socials. They're all linked in the description of my Twitch homepage. So if you want to get to any of them pretty quickly, that's your way. But where can they find you, WobbleDude TV?
You can find me all over the place, and my stream deck is not working, so I'm going to hope that these end up working. No, hold up. Is this the command? Oh, wait, hold up. We got a hydration check. Very important.
Oh yeah.
You gotta drink water.
I have the driest cup next to me with no water inside, but I would join.
Wow. That's actually so sad that you're out of water. I just
know,
finished
well-
my second pint of water since starting stream. Like, I don't...
Hydration core.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. No, last time I drank water was probably on Monday when I had
What?
That's why.
You didn't
No,
drink any water on Tuesday?
No, I did. I take that back. I did. I drank like 2 cups of water.
Oh my God.
I promise. Hydration or dehydration, you know? No, I did.
You're a literal frog.
I didn't really drink any water Monday though. I only ate ice. That was during stream as well, and it did not taste good. Because then I kept like crunching on it, and everyone was just making comments about my ice, and I was just really sad because I was thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
But I did drink water.
Okay, good.
Hydrate, guys.
Anyways, I did put the link to the VODs channel in my chat. That's where I upload all the VODs for all the different streams that we end up doing. So if you end up missing stream, don't worry. Everything is saved forever in YouTube. And then I also have a bunch of YouTube shorts for short form content, but I also have other socials as well. I do think the socials command only works for me, so I should go ahead and change that now that you mention it, Peachy. But yes, I am on TikTok and Instagram as well. Obviously, you can drop a follow here if you want to be a part of this amazing community. And we both also have Discords. So if you're interested in checking out the Discord community, that way we can interact outside of stream as well. And you can send me pictures of your dog. Because I would love to see pictures of your dog or cat or guinea pig or axolotl, or if you got a pet camel for some reason, like, absolutely. You know, any pets, more than welcome.
Yeah, if you want to share a picture of your dinner or your breakfast or lunch or snack,
oh my gosh, send me food pictures. Guys. Yes, please.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I want more food pics, yeah. Anyways, that is going to do it for us. I want to thank everybody for stopping by, and thank you, Polly. This was a phenomenal stream. We got to do it again sometime.
You know, absolutely. And shout out to you for coming up with this idea and inviting me to do this. I had a blast.
Of course.
Also, I don't know what... Sorry, I have to make a comment real quick because Peachy just used exclamation commands, which I do have that set as an actual command on my end to show you my personal commands, but then it showed that I chatted every available one that like Twitch has preset, and now everyone's using the magic 8-ball in my chat. So I don't know what happened there, but
boy.
I'm so confused. Anyway, we're gonna have to do this again as soon as possible.
Definitely.
But okay.
Yeah.
When are you gonna be live next?
I am going to be live next on Saturday. We're going to be playing some viewer-made levels in Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, that sounds exciting.
And for you?
For sure. I'm going to be live this Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time for some Tuesday, which for those who don't know what that is, it's where I let you guys choose what I play for the day.
It's where we force her to play Celeste, guys.
Yeah, and then I fail, and then everyone makes fun of me, and I've had, like, actual friends and family come up to me and be like, wow, you sucked at that, and I'm like, hey, so...
But do you have fun?
I do, I have a lot of fun, but I can only keep people's attention for so long because I miss the same jump, like, 50 times in a row.
That's the game, though.
It's bad.
That's the game. Yeah, it's good.
Anyways, I get it. I get it's the game, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, once again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by, and wherever you are in the world, stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your week, everybody, and I hope to see you Saturday.